I want to make a short video about something, and I'll probably will have a part two pretty soon. Here's the thing. I'm going to go ahead and state that, the reason why you should drive slow because, for one, there can be potholes. Secondly, you can do better stall your suspension, and yet you can dodge more stuff, and yet you never know when you have to hit the brakes. And the fifth reason you could say is, okay, driving slow, you never know. If you don't have the best brakes, it makes sense to drive slow. Because sometimes some of these brake shoes, you can end up driving a little bit faster than what your brake shoes can handle. And this is true because sometimes, to me altogether, you could end up watching somebody, either you can end up driving so fast, and yet your brakes are not to like stop whenever you need them to. Because some brakes and all are not the best for, like, for one, heat related and stopping distance. Some brake pads can end up benefiting, and yet they can be a lot more safety related reasons and all that. Like, safer meaning they can prevent you from hitting something. What's another reason why you should drive slow? If you're gonna end up having a heavy trailer and you need to stop a little bit quicker because of the weight of the trailer could end up making it hard to stop. And really, you could probably rely on your front brakes, which that could be something there. And your brakes all the way around, they're important to look at because if you're going to end up doing something good at the front, why not do something good at the back? Because of the fact of that, you know, your stopping range, it's like you should be able to count to 10, be able to stop. And sometimes you can drive so fast and you can miss a stoplight, and this can end up happening. And sometimes, it's just common sense. But the other important thing you have to look at is that whenever you're driving slow, things feel a lot more safer, and yet you have to think about this one. Whenever you're around area you don't have a lot of room and you're just driving in general, whenever you drive fast, it's like, you can end up hitting something, you can fly up into something, and yet driving slow, here's the other benefit from it. Whenever you're driving slow, you can dodge stuff. Meaning, if there's something big in your way, it can be a little bit harder to maneuver around. But then whenever you have something that's smaller, it's easy to get around by stuff. But then it's like if you have something bigger, here's what's different about this is that it's hard to turn. You have to make sure you have a lot of room just to go ahead and get in and out. And yet sometimes whenever you're trying to end up making turns, it's like boom, you might miss a turn. That's one thing you could look at if you're driving really fast. Because of the fact that not only is it hard on your brakes, and yet it could be hard on your steering. It may not be the best with your front components in your car, meaning by it could be hard on your ball joints, your steering, and all. And yet, something's going to end up probably not really feeling the best. It's like if you think about this one, if you didn't have power steering and your power steering went out, your gearbox, this is like for older vehicles. If your gearbox went out, it would probably be a big problem. Newer vehicles probably might have electric steering, but the only thing about that is if you don't probably have to use coolant, but some of them might take coolant, but these are a little bit kind of different systems. But the other thing I'm gonna say, probably lastly, about driving slow is that it's good to reduce impact from like whenever you need to because in case there's a sudden stop, and yet reduce the impact. You can reduce yourself from getting hurt, injured, and yet preventing a bad situation from ending up happening. It's like, when you think about it, somebody in front of you might be driving kind of wacky or not driving right. And yet, here's the other thing about you could end up saying is that the fact that driving slow whenever this other driver is driving right, it'd be less of a headache and you don't have to end up having a situation where, okay, I have to file an insurance claim because of driving fast wasn't worth it. So that's about it. Peace.